Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
If you follow basketball, you know Chilltown Hoops.
So this is really good right here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. It is another edition of Chilltown Hoops. Y'all know what time it is right here on the Chilltown Hoops Network. 100%. This is what we do around here. We talk hoops. And tonight, there's $1 million question that needs to be answered, right? And the question that needs to be answered, in my estimation, maybe I'm on some nonsense. I don't know. But I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, people have a tendency to overreact to things, right? Especially when it comes to the playoffs, right? People have a tendency to overreact to things. People have a tendency to jump the gun on things. And I couldn't have been more wrong about what I had seen with the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. I couldn't have been more wrong with what I seen with the Cavs and the Pacers. Everything that the Cavs wanted to do, the Pacers took them out of it. Everything. Every bit of their action, they got taken out of it. It became a one-on-one. And that's Donovan Mitchell having to save them. With that being said, the Cleveland Cavaliers now find themselves in a space of quote-unquote underachievement. Yes, Lee. I just got finished working out. Yes, sir. So I basically came right here from working out. So with that being said, the Cleveland Cavaliers have now been in a state of underachieving, which I didn't think that they were winning the NBA championship this year anyway, but I did think that the Eastern Conference Finals was their ceiling. I thought that was as far as they were going. I didn't think that they would lose in the second round. I thought that they would handle Indiana, but clearly they weren't good enough. So now comes the difficult part, because I definitely want to talk about the Indiana Pacers, because I think that the Indiana Pacers deserve an apology from yours truly. And the reason why I think that was because I could not have been more wrong about them. I was paying attention to them, but I thought that the things that they did wouldn't translate into the playoffs. They weren't as good of a defensive team early. But 2/3 of the season later, they're one of the best defenses in the league. 2/3 of the season later, they're one of the best transition offenses in the league. 2/3 of the season later, they got one of the best rotations in the league, which I'm not paying attention to. Even though they have 8-9 guys who are legit, right? They got 8-9 guys who are legit guys in Mathurin, in TJ McConnell, in Bryant, in OG, not OG, I'm sorry, in Bryant, in OB. So with them having this kind of rotation, and Rick Carlisle, who deserves an immense amount of credit for what he's done with this crew, a ridiculous amount of credit that he deserves, hanging with this crew or dealing with this crew, and what he's done to maximize each one of these guys' strengths. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton's shot creation has gotten much better throughout the course of this season. In addition to Tyrese Halliburton's shot creation getting better, I think Miles Turner, the long ball, has gotten better. I wasn't really a huge fan of Miles Turner as a big. I thought he was soft. I did. I thought he was soft. I didn't think that he was one of those guys that I could depend on to get when games got rough and rugged. Only except they did the exact thing to Cleveland. Like, the game got rough, the game got rugged, and they were the aggressors. They were the guys who handled Cleveland, which in the end became their detriment because they took Cleveland out of everything that they were doing. I'm a big fan of Nesmith. I recognized him when he was in Boston and he was rotting away on their bench. And that was because it wasn't no run for him in Boston. Not because he couldn't play. Not because he couldn't do anything that he does now. Right? Not because he can't do the stuff that he was doing now, because he could. The problem that we were having is that there was no run for him. He wasn't going to play in front of Tatum. He wasn't going to play in front of Jaylen Brown. Right? He wasn't going to play in front of Peyton Pritchard. He wasn't going to play in front of these guys. So because of that, he looked like he was a less than player when in reality he wasn't. He was the complete opposite of that. And I don't think that there's a guy in the league, right? I don't think that there's a guy in the league whose motor runs higher than Nesmith. This guy plays hard, not sometimes, not most times, but all the time. It's kind of like Russ, like he only knows one speed. There is no, I'm going to tone it down. No, I only know how to play one way. And that's hard all the time. I don't know how to, I don't know how to turn it down. I don't know how to slow it down. I don't know how to do any of that. I only know how to play one way, and that's who Nesmith is. Now, I also thought that they did an injustice to Pascal Siakam. He might not be, Kevin Durant or a number one on a championship team, but I tell you what, boy, he's an integral piece. Man, he's necessary. He gets in that mid-range. He can knock down shots. His game is conducive to what Indiana is. Indiana is one of the best transition teams in the league. Yep, Indiana is one of the best transition teams in the league. And with Indiana being one of the best transition teams in the league, that's perfect for Pascal Siakam's game. Why? He's one of the best transition players in the league. Yep, one of the best transition players in the league. So, wow. Cornette just bowled Josh Hart in the face. Split him open. It happens. Yep, it happens. You get hit in the face by a big guy, it happens. He's probably gonna need some stitches. It happens. It happens to the best of them. But anyway, like I was saying, with Pascal Siakam's game being conducive to how Indiana plays, with Nesmith playing as hard as he does on defense and creating turnovers, which gets them in transition. Another thing that's conducive to their game. This is a recipe for success. A guy like Miles Turner who blocks shots the way he does. Then you have the other rotation players like Obi Toppin, who was on his way out the league. Right? With Obi Toppin, who was on his way out the league, and with Obi Toppin being on his way out the league, he looked like he couldn't play. Come to find out, yes, he could. Rick Carlisle, who I don't give enough credit to as a coach, has done so much for guys like Obi Toppin's game. And because he's done as much as he's done for their game, I mean, in the Eastern Conference Championship, this is who they are now. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And can they win this thing? I don't know. That I don't know. But what I do know is it's definitely going to be difficult. It's definitely going to be difficult for whoever sees them. Whoever sees them, don't think for 1 second, right? Whoever sees them, don't think for 1 second that you're just walking right past them. And I got a troll in my chat who says, quote, "Hey, Chill, how's your mother taking this Cavs loss?" Real question. I know she's a huge Cavs fan. Actually, my mother doesn't watch basketball like she used to. She still watches basketball, and my mother's more of a Knicks fan than she is a Cavs fan. My mother's always been a Knicks fan. She was a big fan of Larry Johnson when he played for the Knicks. So that's who my mother is a fan of. And plus, I'm from the Northeast, so I mean, I don't know where you would get that. My mom is a Knicks fan. I mean, is a Cavs fan. I don't know where you would get that from. So now we get the knee-jerk reaction. And what the knee-jerk reaction is we got to blow the Cavs up. Right? That's the knee-jerk reaction. with the Cavs. We got to blow the Cavs up. We got to get rid of the Cavs because Donovan Mitchell isn't Donovan Mitchell isn't a number one on a championship team, and not only is he not a number one on a championship team, but not only is he not a number one on the championship team, but with him not being a number one on the championship team, maybe Jared Allen, his switchability isn't what people said it was. But I like knee-jerk reactions, and the reason why I like knee-jerk reactions is because when you're wrong, you can't see it, right? You can't see it at the time, right? You can't see it at the time, but it's clearly not the thing to do. Clearly. And I'm looking at this Cavs unit and I'm thinking to myself, they are on track. I think they're on track to do something special. It's just not time yet. They got decimated by injury. In addition to them getting decimated by injury, they couldn't produce what they were producing, right? What they were producing early on. So, I mean, if I'm the Cavs and I know that they're going to end up in the second apron, which is going to be detrimental to them because, small market teams, the second apron, when it comes to the collective bargaining agreement, you throw a monkey wrench in you throw a monkey wrench in what they're trying to do. You just do that. And with that, you still got 6 guys under contract. You got Allen under contract. You got Mitchell you got the starting 5 under contract, right? Now, Max Strus, I kind of knew who Max Strus was, right? I kind of knew who Max Strus was. That 0 for 9 performance that I saw last night, that's not something that's out the blue. He had an 0 for 8. I want to say an 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 performance in 23 in the NBA Finals. He had a 1 for 12 performance in 22. So, I mean, Max Strus will do this. This isn't this isn't out the blue for him. So, I'm not surprised at this at all. But I got a super chat really quickly that I want to add. Lee Max says, "Hey, OG, hope all is well. What are your thoughts on Tatum's health going forward next season? Do you feel it's it'll be a difficult recovery?" Oh, it'll definitely be a difficult recovery, Lee. I mean, I think he's out all next season. I don't think that this is something where, we're going to get him back by the All-Star break. No. I think he's out the entire season next season. And I think we get to see I think that we get to see who Jaylen Brown really is. That more than anything, I think we get to see who Jaylen Brown really is. Is it true that Jaylen Brown really is? Is it true that Jaylen Brown really is a guy you can build your unit around? Is he really that good? This isn't a death sentence like it used to be when you're talking about an Achilles injury, because it was years ago, 30 years ago, 35 years ago. The technology is not what it is today. And Jason Tatum is 27. He's not 33 years old, 34 years old like Dame is, who I think is over. I think he's going to come back and play. I do think that just like Chauncey Billups tore his Achilles and he came back and played, I do think that Damian Lillard, I do think that Damian Lillard is going to come back and play, but I don't think he's going to be what he used to be. So with that being said, right? With that being said, he can recover from this. So I think that it's going to be a tough road because he's going to miss the rest of this season and he's going to miss all of next season. So we won't see Jason Tatum until, let's see, 28. And at this age, I think that I think that he could be just as good, if not. I think that he can get back to who he was at this age. So this is actually the guy that I was looking for because, I thought it was interesting that I very rarely I see no man when when the Warriors are winning. Like he stays in my face. But the fact that, you know, the Warriors aren't winning, he says to me, quote, Chill, don't think you were right about my Warriors. We just got unlucky with injuries. Warriors in 7. You were not going to even if Curry were healthy, and I wanted to pick Minnesota anyway, and I thought that Curry was the linchpin, and I thought he was the difference. But in the end, I ended up picking Minnesota. I wanted to pick Minnesota anyway. The only reason why I didn't pick Minnesota in the beginning was because of Curry, because I thought, man, if Curry could get it going. And on top of that, they had beaten Minnesota three of the 4 times that they played them, and Curry had outplayed Anthony Edwards. But I felt like, you know, in these playoffs, I think they got everything necessary. And the way Julius Randle was playing, because he wasn't playing that way when they played against them throughout the regular season, and the way that Jaden McDaniels is playing, much more aggressive offensively. Naz Reid has been better. This team had already been better throughout the course of the year. And to answer your question, you said that I have Evan Mobley over Draymond for Defensive Player of the Year. I said that Draymond Green. I said that Evan Mobley was the Defensive Player of the Year when Wemby was healthy. Before the season started, I had Wemby as the defensive player. Before the season started, I had Evan Mobley as the Defensive Player of the Year. I thought he's the best defensive player in the game. And because of that, I'm not surprised that they ended up winning. I'm not surprised he ended up winning the Defensive Player of the Year, because I had him as the defensive player in October. I had him as the Defensive Player of the Year in October. So that's where I'm at with when it comes to the Cavs. That's where I'm at when it comes to Indiana. Jaylen Brown, who hasn't been good in these playoffs. He's shooting under 40 from the floor and barely over 30 at the long ball line. And with that, I'm sure that that's going to improve next year, because they're going to run more stuff for him, right? They're probably going to run more stuff for him. They're going to feature him more in the offense. And because they're going to feature him more, we're going to find out who he really is. Yeah, we're going to find out who Jaylen Brown really is, because he's now going to see more of number one coverages. He's going to have to do more, because with Jason Tatum now out of the lineup, that's your best distributor. This isn't just your best scorer, because I know how you guys are about buckets, because I care about buckets just as much as you guys do. And I know how you guys are about buckets. So with that being said, not only is Jason Tatum your best scorer, he's also your best playmaker. He's your best distributor. He's your best rebounder. So that's got to get made up, right? That has to get made up from. That has to get made up on some level. Well, if that's going to be the case, right? If that's going to be the case, then Jaylen Brown's going to have to pick up a lot of that slack. And we're going to find out how good he really is in that aspect. We're going to have to we have to find out, because there is no other option. You figure at the end of this season, the Celtics are going to make some changes, because whether you guys noticed or not, right? Whether you guys noticed or not, they're going to be $210 million in luxury tax. They're not a repeat offender, so because they're not a repeat offender, you're not going to be penalized to the maximum, which is $5 per dollar that you over the salary cap. No, that's not going on here. So because of that, they still owe over $200 million in taxes. Well, if they're going to be over the second apron again next year, now you are a repeat offender, which means those taxes go up, and we're gonna have to cut the budget. We have to cut the budget. Otherwise, if we don't, we're going to be looking at an even higher tax bill. So Turnover. Good defense. Good defense. Um, I'm I'm I think it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that what happened to Jason Tatum, even though the Knicks were still going to win that game had Jason Tatum not gotten hurt. They still were going to win that game. That was happening. I'm confident that they were going to win that game, even if he didn't get hurt. However, if Jason Tatum were healthy, is this series over? More times than not, when you down 3-1, I think the series is over. And of course, the Celtics are going to put up a fight, right? Of course, the Celtics are going to put up a fight. They're not just going to roll over. And I think the Knicks know that. I don't think this is news from the Knicks. I think they know that the Celtics are going to put up a fight. So they just got to weather this storm. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll ultimately see what this boils down to. So my question moving forward with the Celtics is, what changes do they make? Because like I just told you with the Cavs, when a team loses, there's this knee-jerk reaction to blow it up. Always. You got to get rid of this guy. You got to get rid of that guy. You got to get rid of this guy. When I'm one of those people who I think in this particular situation, not with the Celtics, because when it comes to the money, they got to do something. But when it comes to the Cavs, I don't think that there's a lot of changes that need to be made. I think health was the biggest issue with them. More than anything, I think health was the biggest issue with them. And if they can stay healthy, because I don't think you guys understand. I don't think you guys understand how difficult it is to run with a toe injury. And it may sound like something minuscule. It may sound like something that ain't that big a deal, but it is. It 100% is. It's like trying to do something with a broken thumb, or when your thumb is basically your thumb is this swollen, and you're trying to work with your thumb being that swollen. It's definitely going to hamper you. That's not to say I can't work, because I can still work. I can still give you what I got. But if I got to run on this thing with a bad toe, yeah, it's going to be a lot worse than what I hope. So it looks like we got a dogfight early. Knicks are up 2 at the end of the first. Yeah, Knicks are up 2 at the end of the first, and I'm confident that if they keep this thing close, I'm confident if they keep this thing close, I think the Knicks pull away, and I think this series is over tonight. No doubt about that. Man, get out of my chat. Beat it. You don't know basketball. You're an idiot. So get out of my chat. Get your ass out of here. Beat it. Get your goofy ass out of my chat. You clueless. You don't have a clue. Just so you guys know, this is the same dude who told us this dude in the chat, he told us earlier today that Donovan Mitchell is not a number one. He's not a number one on a championship team. Right? This is what he said. He said we have to accept the fact of who Donovan Mitchell is. He's not a number one on a championship team. This is the same dude who said to me less than a month ago, if they win the NBA championship, Donovan Mitchell is better than Allen Iverson. He told me that. He told me that to my face. If they win the NBA championship, he's better than Allen Iverson. We go from that to he's not a number one on a championship team. Man, get out of my chat, yo. Get away from me. Stay away from me. I told you to stay away from me. And I said this to you once. I said it to you twice. Stay out of my chat. You're a goofy. I don't believe in anything that you say. Get your ass out of here and stay out of here. You are not welcome here at all. At all. Stay your ass out of here. You're an idiot. You are a complete and utter idiot. So stay out of my chat. Anyway, I want to Am I ridiculous if I want to see? And I know this is far-fetched, but is it far-fetched to see a Knicks Timberwolves finals? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think the Knicks could beat Indiana. I don't think Minnesota could beat Oklahoma City 4 times in a week. I don't think they can do it. I'd be blown away if they beat them dudes 4 times in a week. I don't think that they can do it. I don't. I think that Oklahoma City's perimeter defense, because I think they're going to beat Denver. I picked Oklahoma City in 6. It may go 7, but I picked Oklahoma City in 6. I don't think that they can beat Minnesota. I mean, I don't think that they can beat Oklahoma City. I don't. And with that being said, I think I'm going to get an Oklahoma City. I think I'm going to get an Oklahoma City Indiana finals. I just think that I think that Indiana, I think that they do what the Knicks do. I just don't think that they exert as much energy as the Knicks exert in order to get that done. I don't think that they need as much, right? I don't think that they need as much to get that done as the Knicks do. And I think that's going to be, and I think that Indiana's rotation players are the difference in this series more than anything. Because I feel like with Tibbs is going to play when it gets serious. He's probably going to play 7 guys. Rick Carlisle is going to play 9 guys. Consistently, he's going to play 9 guys. And this is one of the fastest teams in the NBA. So you're going to need breaks. And just so we're clear, right? Just so we're clear, you're gonna need breaks. And the Pacers are arguably the fastest team in the NBA. I think they play at a top 5 pace. Now, pace and speed aren't the same thing. Let's be clear about that. But the Pacers play fast. They got one of the best transition offenses in the league. And their secondary break is fantastic. Right? So because of that, right? Because of that, you are going to need breaks. And if I'm not mistaken, today is Wednesday. Monday night, and this has been going on all season, by the way. This isn't just Monday night. Monday night, Tibbs played his starting 5 the entire third quarter. This is what he does. He'll dig into his bench periodically in the fourth, but for the most part, he sticks with his starting 5 and maybe one guy off the bench, maybe Miles. That means Cam is out. That means Shamet is out. That means Precious is out. None of these dudes is getting run. Right? None of these dudes is getting run. None of them. And because none of these dudes is getting run, and all of those guys in Indiana are getting run, it's going to wear on you. And because of that, I think that they could wear down the Knicks. And Mike, you are right. All the great ones do have haters. And I got one. And that hater is you. That hater is 100% you. You are that hater. That's why I do my best not to even pay attention to you. I do my best not to even address you. You're the drunk uncle at the cookout. That's who you are, kicking the door in. Get your ass out of here, man. I don't pay attention to goofballs like you. Matter of fact, get your ass out of my chat. As a matter of fact, get your ass out of here. Get your goofy ass out of my chat. Get your ass out of here. Anyway, so good defense. So what does this mean for Cleveland moving forward? Because I was big on Cleveland before the season started, even though I thought their ceiling was the Eastern Conference Championship. I thought next year was the year that they really challenged for the NBA championship. Because I thought that Evan Mobley, I didn't think he was there yet. I didn't quite think Evan Mobley was there yet. And because I didn't think Evan Mobley was there, it wasn't because of Donovan Mitchell, because I'm confident that Donovan Mitchell is one of the better players in the playoffs. I'm confident in that. I mean, you're going to have bad games and you're going to make mistakes. But with that being said, right? With that being said, I can also make the argument that his game translates to the playoffs. There's no way, right? There's no way that. Nope, that's a brick. There's no way that I can watch. There's no way that I can watch Donovan Mitchell's game and say this game doesn't translate to the playoffs, because it 100% does. The pull-up translates, the ball handling translates, the transition game translates, the finishing around the rim. All of that stuff translates into the playoffs. The playmaking translates, the distributing translates, the crunch time minutes translate. He's proven to you he can get you a game. He's proven to you he can get you a series. He did that last year. I can win us a series. I could do that. I 100% can do that. Now, when we get to when we get to space where, like, we get deeper into the playoffs, I mean, now you're talking about something different, right? Now you're talking about something completely different, and now you're talking about James and throwing a unit on your back and taking them to the championship and doing it. Like throwing somebody on your back and going, we winning this series off the strength of you. You are going to take us there. That's different, right? I feel like that's a different level. I feel like that's a different level for. I feel like that's a different level of player. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is that level of player. I'm not going to argue that. Nah, I'm not going to argue that Donovan Mitchell is that level of player. But he's proven to me that he can win you a series. He showed me that. He showed me that in 2018. He showed me that last year against Orlando. I can win us a series. Yeah, I can do that. 100% I can do that. And I don't think that there's any I don't think there's any question when you get to that space, when you got a guy who can win you a series. All right, now I need that other guy. Right? Now I need that other guy in order for us to win the whole thing. Because, you know, if I can win us, if I feel like I can win us a series, now the other guy comes in and he shows that he could do the other stuff to help us win even more. He's the guy who's going to keep this thing close, right? He's the guy who's going to come in and keep this thing close. I'll finish it, right? I'll finish it. And you do need that other guy, though. You absolutely need that other guy. There is nobody who doesn't have that other guy that's, you know, winning a playoff series. But Donovan Mitchell has proven I can win us a series. I can do that. I can 100% do that. So because of that, I still got faith in the Cavs, and I still not only do I have faith in the Cavs, but I also got faith in Evan Mobley that he'll get better. I also got faith in Darius Garland that he can stay healthy, because that's been the detriment to these guys. I said this earlier. Ty Jerome was a gift. Let's be clear about that, guys. Ty Jerome was a gift. Nobody was particularly interested in Ty Jerome. Nobody. Y'all were not paying attention to Ty Jerome. And if you say you were, you're lying. No, you weren't. You were not paying attention when the Cavs signed Ty Jerome this offseason. You weren't like, yo, this is gonna be great. Ty Jerome was on his way out the league. I think he was on his fourth team in the last six, because he's been in the league 6 years. And I think we're on his fourth team now in 6 years. And because of that, like, nobody was particularly interested in him like that. And rightfully so. I mean, I seen him with the Warriors. I wasn't impressed. And this is running with Steph Curry. Right? This was running with Steph Curry. I wasn't particularly impressed. I wasn't. I'd be lying if I said I was. I wasn't. But he came in, he got into that rotation, and I think Kenny Atkinson maximized him to the point where he now has become a viable six-man. Right? A viable six-man. So with that being said, right? With that being said, the Cavs don't have to do anything drastic. I don't think that they have to do anything astronomical. I'm bringing Mitchell back. I'm bringing Mobley back. I'm bringing Garland back. I'm bringing Allen back. I do think I can do better than Strus. I do. And I really do like Max Strus. I do. I really like Max Strus, but I think I could do better than him. I do. I think I could do better than Max Strus. Whether it's in free agency, whether it's in my farm system, I got somebody that's up to snuff that I'm developing, like the Miami Heat did with Max Strus. I got somebody like that. I'm confident that I got somebody like that. So because of that, right? So because of that, I think I could do better than him. I do. I think I could do better than him. And I know that, I mean, they ended up signing him. They ended up getting him. I want to make sure that I don't give you any bad information. They got him from Miami, walked out the front door. They got him from Miami for almost nothing. For nothing. Let me rephrase that. They got him for almost nothing, if not nothing. And I just feel like I could do better than Max Strus. I do. I feel like I could do better than Max Strus. I feel like DeAndre Hunter is in the same space with Peyton Pritchard. I think he's in that space. I think he's one of the best rotation players in the game. I think that's where he's most suited. And you guys get wrapped up in guys being rotation players. And with them being rotation players, that means that they're less than. Ginobili was a rotation player. And with Ginobili being a rotation player, how good was he? I feel the same way about DeAndre Hunter. I think he's one of the best rotation players in the game. And I think that's where he's the best suited. I don't want to start him. No, I don't. Even though I do have good rotation players coming off the bench, I don't want to be honest with you guys, I don't want to do much with this unit. I don't. Because if there was much more to do with this unit, like if I felt like we weren't close to getting there, then I'd be like, yo, I'm good. But I feel like there's holes that can be, I feel like there's holes that can be covered up with something small. Like these holes aren't holes that are astronomical. Mobley took a step this year. He got better. I think he gets better. Mobley's going to make the All-Pro team this year. Not only did Mobley get better, Darius Garland got back to what he was 3 years ago before they got Donovan Mitchell when he was an all-star. He got back to that. Now, there's some people who want to get off of him. I'm not not particularly feeling that, to be honest with you. I'm not feeling getting off Darius Garland. If you guys could give me one more season, and I get the same thing and he breaks down again, all right, you got it. Okay. Then maybe it is time to upgrade at this position. Maybe it is time to move on from this position. Maybe it is time to do that. But what I'm not going to do is, right? What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to jump the gun off of injuries. I think Darius Garland is a lead guard on a championship contending team. I think he can be that. If Kyle Lowry could do it, he could do it. 100%, I believe that. If Kyle Lowry can be that, if you have a legit number one like what they have with Kawhi Leonard, Darius Garland can be that too. 100% he can be that. And I listen to the logic of small backcourts. Yeah, break, man. Their backcourt wasn't, them being small was not the issue. That was not the problem at all. So I want to talk to you guys, though. Are the Cavs blowing it up or just making minor changes? What up?
What up, Chill?
What up?
Man, you asked some really good questions about the Cavs. I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation, I think, when Donovan first got there,
Yep.
and we were talking. I was under the impression that Cleveland was playing a little soft in that first playoff series.
Yep.
And he was like, "No, they weren't soft. They did some good stuff. They got stuff they could work on." And I see the progression. I really do. And not only that, I think the stigma of them being soft, they ended that.
They
I
not.
don't. They're
They
not
not.
soft.
They not.
But there's a difference between being soft and being tough. And I need their bigs to get just a little tougher and maybe even a little meaner.
I
Their
think minor.
perform.
Keep
Go
going.
ahead.
Keep going.
I think their performance in the playoffs shows that they can play really good and they can ramp it up a little bit. But I think it's I don't know if Evan needs to get a little bigger, a little stronger on the interior. I don't know if Allen needs to do the same thing. And the other thing is they gotta get somebody on that wing. Strus ain't it. That
He's
ain't
not.
it.
He's not.
That's not it.
I think I can do better. I do. I think I can do better than Max Strus. That's not to say that he can't fall into my rotation.
Absolutely.
I think I could do better than that. I do.
Yeah, I completely.
Especially at that price.
Yeah, you can't be.
If the Lakers got Austin Reeves for $13 million, I can do better than that.
Yeah,
I can do better than Max Strus.
My question is, looking at the landscape, who do you think they kind of? Yeah, I'm watching the game too. Who do you kind of keep an eye on this offseason to kind of grab up?
To be honest with you, man, I think it's in their farm system.
I don't. I've never been impressed by the Cleveland's way of progression of their players.
Yeah.
They don't. And that's not to say they can't. But you look at teams like San Antonio, like
Yep.
Miami, like Toronto.
Yep.
They're teams that really use their farm system to build up their guys and to slot players in. They really use the G League to improve their players.
So what happened to Isaac Okoro? Because Isaac Okoro was actually he was knocking down the long ball. Like his jump shot had improved. And I'm thinking, okay, this is getting better. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about guys progressing. I was impressed with and then it just went away.
Chill.
It 100% went away.
You know, in the playoffs,
It gets a lot
them
trickier.
them hands get greasy.
Yeah,
The stomach start turning.
Basket ain't as big as it was in January. It look a lot different.
The expectations in the playoffs are a lot different than in the regular season, Chill.
No doubt.
But the good thing is he did get that experience this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year he can come back with a little bit better mindset.
Yeah.
But this is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound real crazy. And I won't be shocked at you if you say absolutely not. Do you call up Philly and say, what can we give y'all for Paul George?
I'm out on Paul George. No thank
I know you are.
I'm good.
As you saying, as even as a complimentary piece to Donovan, you don't even think he could do that.
2 years ago, I would have been all in on this. No, I'm good. Nope. I seen the best. Not only have I seen the best of Paul George, I've seen what Paul George has become, and I think that it's only going the other way from this point. He'll be 35. I think he'll be 35 this month if he just turned 35, and especially at that price, nah, I'm good. Like I told you about Strus, I think I can do better. Like I said about Strus, I think I can do better.
And then the other name that I think that might be able to help him is Chris Middleton.
Can he hold up though? That's the $1 million question. Because if he could hold up, then that'd be great. That's why Milwaukee got off him, because he couldn't hold up anymore. That was the problem. So no,
I think Chris can get them over the hump until they can find a more permanent solution. But yeah, man, this game is good. This game is really good.
Yeah, it is. I know where to find you at, brother. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Out. What up?
Yo, what up, Chill?
What up?
What up? Yeah, I haven't really thought much about the Cavs. I just think the Pacers are that good. And
Mhm.
one of the things that impresses me is Pascal Siakam. I love how he attacks mismatches. You
Yep.
can't put a small on Pascal Siakam. He's amazing at attacking mismatches. So
Yep.
in regards to the Cavs, I think that's probably what the difference was. Evan Mobley, I wish he attacked the mismatches more, but he wants to be the new big that wants to shoot. I felt like if he stayed in the interior more, that would have helped them because I remember that one game when they played the OKC Thunder. I think it might have been the first time they played. Him and Jared Allen, they were crushing the glass
Mhm.
late in the fourth quarter, and that's why they won in the game.
Yep.
But I didn't see him dominate the offensive glass in that Pacers series. So
Well,
I think.
Evan,
Oh, what we gonna say?
Evan Mobley, I think this season, this is the first time that he's been in a featured role as an offensive player, and I think that he stepped up and did I did think he made some strides. So him as a pick and dive guy, when they did get switches, I do think that he took advantage of some mismatches. He might not have been as aggressive as you would like him to be, considering what Cleveland was. And I can appreciate that because I feel the same way. I think that he could have been more aggressive. But this is the progression of Evan Mobley. This is a guy who wouldn't look at the basket nearly as much last year as he's doing this year. This is the guy who's putting the ball on the floor a lot more this year than he did last year. But to your point about Pascal Siakam, if you think about him being one of the best transition players in the game, that's perfect for what Indiana is. That's exactly who they are. One of the best transition teams, if not the best transition team in the game. And because of that, that works perfect for Pascal Siakam's game. And where did you get the most mismatches? Do you get the most mismatches? Mismatch hunting? Not necessarily. I feel like you get the most mismatches in transition when teams are scrambling.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's why the Pacers are coming out of the East. I really love the way they play basketball, and they got a lot of athletes on that team too. So they may not be as big as some teams, but like
Yep.
D Smith, he's an athlete to me. Obi Toppin, he's an athlete to me. Siakam, he's an athlete to me. So I think those guys are gonna go
Yep.
to the finals. And then just real quick, man, on this Celtics, man, it was tough watching Tatum go down like that. But I think with the type of player he is, I think he's going to take this recovery with that Achilles serious, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually think we're going to see him next year. I don't think he's going to miss the whole season.
You
I
think
don't
he's gonna
see
do
him
that?
as that
Yeah.
type that's gonna take off the whole year. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be aggressive this year to try
Wow.
to come back.
Wow. I
I
mean,
think I remember how Adrian Peterson came back after his
mhm.
ACL, and he came back and won MVP. I
Yeah.
could see Tatum coming back like that.
Would the Celtics allow it though? Classic is my question. Because
I
I
mean,
know
why
that
wouldn't they?
I know he may want to. Would the Celtics allow that? Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to rush him and him possibly re-injuring himself. We got to make sure that this thing is legit and he's fully recovered from this before we make any before we make any before we make
Yeah,
any
no, yeah,
decisions.
I see what you're saying. I didn't even think about that if they would stop him from doing that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a great question. I hope they wouldn't
right.
because I don't really I feel like once you get hurt and once you get over it, I think you should try to put that in the back of your mind instead of
Mhm.
always being scared about
Yeah.
well I may re-injure it. I don't think that would be good for him.
That's where the mental toughness comes in. To your point, that's exactly where the mental toughness comes in. And I do think that Jason Tatum is a lot mentally tougher than people give him credit for. I do expect him to make a full recovery and get back to being an elite player when he comes back. I do expect that from him, no doubt. So good to talk to you, brother. I know where to
All right,
find
man.
you.
You have a good one.
Yes, sir. What up?
Yeah. Listen, as far as the injury goes, to Tatum, we got to understand, in our lifetime, because I'm actually pretty old myself. In our lifetime, just how many dudes came back from an Achilles injury and was almost the same player. Do you know those two names?
Yeah, Kevin Durant and Dominique.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're asking for Jason Tatum to do by the time he supposedly sits out a year and comes back after that said year, let's make one thing clear. This roster is not going to look the same.
Way
This
different.
this going to look way different. It's probably going to flip. Like I'm talking about a complete 180. It's the chance that it might flip. Second, the Boston Celtics are smart enough to tell him, yo, you need to sit out for a year. We probably could get something in the draft. We probably could get some players to redo this thing all over again. We gonna free up some money. Obviously, you're gonna be a part of this. We know that going forward. So just take your time, take it step by step, do what you need to do. As far as him being just as good as he was coming back, that's sort of a flip of the coin type of thing to me. Because if you're telling me only in our lifetime that 2 players were able to come back from those said injuries and they were somewhat of the same, but on less timing or less games per season, I guess, if you want to say. Obviously, we know what Kevin Durant can still do after his Achilles injury. You know more about Dominique than I do. Dominique was still averaging what, like 29, like
He averaged
29,
32 a game. He averaged 32 a game.
32 a game and 90. God damn, Dominique was something different. But I will say this is going to be a tough challenge. This is going to be anything but easy.
Now, here's the thing, though, Lee, because what you're telling me, I think we need to add a little bit of circumstance to those two. Like, so for example, with Dominique Wilkins and with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, for example, he was 29 when this happened. Nick was in his 30s when this happened. Jason Tatum just turned 27. So with him being 27, we're probably going to miss all of next year. So he comes back at 28 years old. Kevin Durant popped it at 29.
Right.
He's coming back
at 30.
Yeah, this dude's coming back at 28. So he's younger,
28.
Still athletic, in his athletic prime. So I think I got in terms of his athletic prime, I think I got at 28 years old, I probably got 6 or 7 more years of my athletic prime in the NBA. Now, Jason Tatum's game isn't predicated on flight and athleticism like Giannis is.
Damn
Like
sure.
if this was Giannis, I'd be like, man.
I think that's the end. I think I ain't gonna lie. I think this is the end. If it was Giannis, I think this is the end.
Or somebody like that whose game is predicated on flight, athleticism, and physicality.
I mean, but if Dominique, I feel like was an anomaly enough to like for where his game was predicated on those things that you talked about. And obviously, when your name is the human highlight film, and you come back still giving 32 and 90,
hold on.
That's an anomaly.
Let's be clear, Lee. He only did that once. Like after that, he went this
after that, he went that way.
It wasn't like he stayed at like 30. No, he didn't. No,
but he at least showed you that he can still do something.
I still got the goods. Oh, 100%. I still got the goods. No doubt about that. He still was 25, 26 a game. He can still do that. But he showed that I could still play at this level, the level that I was playing at before I tore my Achilles. I'm just thinking with Jason Tatum, he's still young, 27 years old. By the time we get him back, he'll be 28. In September of 2026, he'll be 28 years old. So when training camp open, he'll be ready to go. So he should be. So I think he'll be good. I do.
And am I all right? Am I crazy to think like I don't really look at the NBA as age now. I look at it as miles traveled. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got to remember, Jason Tatum came into this league and he was in the conference finals year 1. In year 2, he was like this is a lot of runs that Boston has been a top 5 team since 2017. Since they had Isaiah Thomas.
He's got knocked out.
They got knocked out in the first round once. And that was in 21. They was in the conference finals in 18, 20, 22 in the finals, 23.
And last year.
And last year. So I'm looking at. Listen, call me crazy, but distance traveled, I think, is much more taxing on your body than anything, especially in this NBA. Especially in this NBA, when you got to switch everything and you got to run, you're running all the time. It's not like everything is stationary. You know what I'm saying?
This is a young man's league, though. League. This isn't a league like it was years ago, where like 30 years old is old today. 31 is old today. 32 is old. 28 is getting up there. because this is a young man's league. So a guy like Jason Tatum, I mean, I'm not concerned with because he's still got the goods. That part I'm not going to argue. But I think that I care more about how you taking care of your body and the way you preserving yourself. And Jason Tatum has shown me that he takes care of himself. He 100% takes care of himself. So we'll see.
I'll give you one more thing before I go to the title of your show. Just to speak a little bit on Cleveland, and I got to get in Brooklyn mode now because you already know where I'm gonna go with this. It's not enough nasty on that team. It's just not enough. I don't see somebody out there that's really with the shits. I don't see a Najee.
Where's Isaiah Stewart at?
Like, where's Isaiah Stewart at? Where's Najee Marshall at? Where's listen, look, listen. I don't want to crash out because I want to give Indiana props. I think we might be looking at one of the best spacing teams in the history of this league.
Let's call it.
We might be.
I know you're trying to be politically correct, but Leaf, let's call it what it is. Who is on that bench going, fuck these niggas? Who is that dude?
Nobody.
Who is that dude on Cleveland bench going, man, these niggas, man?
Look, I'm sorry to say, but it ain't no. I mean, Donovan Mitchell. Bro, listen, I like Spider, but he's kind of a nice guy.
Yeah,
Jared Allen is a nice guy, man. I mean, after he's done, he's probably gonna be a substitute teacher somewhere, some shit. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's gonna be running.
Yeah, he's gonna be a So my thing with Cleveland, I don't necessarily think you might need to retool it a little bit, but you got to get some attitude in that locker room. You got to say, yo, I need somebody pissed off that y'all blew a goddamn 7-point lead and under 50 goddamn seconds. Nobody's pissed off.
I told you it's like DeAndre Ayton. I told you I'm coming in practice. I'm starting a fight with him. I'm just gonna start a fight with him. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna come in practice and start a fight with him.
Yo, DeAndre Hunter, what's wrong with your hand, bro? Yo, what you doing? Ain't nobody in there like, what the F you doing? But credit to Indiana, though.
Yeah.
Credit to
100%.
Indiana.
100%.
I think that they are coming out of the East. I think that this offense, it's a lot of things you got to cover for when you're running out and you're closing out all the time on a team that runs 5 out just consistently. They got guys that can get smart shots and get shot. They don't just jack up threes. They don't just bomb up threes. They get smart shots. And they have a chain link guy that can get everybody involved. He's kind of the mom and pop of the team. What I'm saying? So
I know where to find you at, Lee. I know where to find you at, brother. I got to bounce. Good to talk to you, my man. What up? What up?
Yo, what up, Chill? What's going on, bro?
What up?
Yeah. I know you're trying to get up out of here. So I'll just talk about Indiana. Yeah, man. I think a lot of people leaving out the coaching aspect. You know, Rick Carlisle did, win the one with that.
Before you go any further, can we talk about Rick Carlisle? Can we do that?
Rick Carlisle. That was all bringing up.
Rick Carlisle. Let's talk about Rick Carlisle. Like a lot of people like we'll talk about Donovan Mitchell this, and we'll talk about Tyrese Halliburton that. How come ain't nobody talk about Rick Carlisle?
That's why I brought him up. Again, the coaching is, I don't think people understand just how important coaching is in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And especially, like you said, that last 2 minutes is crucial.
Yeah.
And the spacing and, he don't get credit for it. But then, like I say, everybody's casuals now. More people play 2K than play basketball. Most of the people that comment on basketball don't play. You feel me? And they like under 25. You feel me? So they just, highlight reels and, shout out to you guys, y'all in the panel. And that's the closest they get to a real game of basketball. You feel me?
It's crazy that you bring that up too, B, because I actually brought up a coaching adjustment that like these guys got dollar sign. I was like, wow, I didn't even recognize that. When Mark Dagnall with Oklahoma City yesterday, when he went to the triple big lineup in the fourth quarter, I'm surprised nobody recognized that. I'm like, yo, that's an adjustment where he went with Jalen Williams, he went with Chet, and he went with Hartenstein. Like, who's doing that?
Exactly.
And they did that. He did that specifically to deal with Joker. And he told the rest of them dudes, y'all gonna have to beat us.
Exactly. Especially when Joker was on fire.
And I think that goes to your point with coaching.
Yeah, and like you said, Joker, it's like they used to do with Shaq back in the day, right? Or that's how Detroit beat the Lakers. Listen, Shaq gonna get his. All right, but Kobe, we gonna run literally three people at Kobe if we got to, because we know nobody else is gonna be in the rhythm, nobody else is gonna be a dependable scorer. So if you
Somebody
cut
else
off
got
the
to
two,
do it, not you. You
exactly,
can't get
exactly,
going.
not
You
you,
can't get going,
exactly.
not you.
We can sacrifice that one, but everybody else, and like you said, the way they shut out all the rest of the players other than Joker, man, it was crazy. But
Yep.
to the point of the Pacers, Halliburton, man, bro, I know the search for the next Curry has, and I'm not saying this too early, but I'm saying the Trey Young experiment is pretty much over with. He's not gonna do it. He's way too small, right? And Halliburton,
Hate
the
this.
way he handled that pill, his
It's true.
assist to
It's
turnover
true. What
ratio.
you say it. It's true, but I hate
I
it.
know.
It's
Well,
true what
listen,
you say.
listen. I'm sorry, and I love Trey, man. I love Ice Trey, but he's too small. The Iverson, that shit's over with. He can't be a number one option. He can't be a
It's
number one option.
is Halliburton what Trey Young was supposed to be?
Supposed to be, exactly. That's what he's supposed to be. And you know what's so crazy? Because that y'all talking about who talked that, you know what? Oh, Halliburton, him. Halliburton talking
Halliburton with
the
all the
whole
smoke.
time.
Halliburton with
All
all the
of it.
smoke. Yes, he is. 100%.
And so you know who I'm bringing up next. And I'm surprised as to why he's not covering the games. Am I tripping? Why ain't Reggie Miller covering none of the Indiana games? Am I
That's
tripping?
crazy, ain't it? No, you ain't bugging out. I think Reggie Miller, I think he's doing Western. I think they switch up because
man.
every year is different with TNT. Like TNT will do the Eastern Conference one year. I think ESPN got the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, TNT got the Eastern Conference this year.
And then NBC or ESPN, the other one, one or two.
I think they get it. I think they get it switched up. And I think Reggie Miller, I think he's doing Western Conference games this year.
Man, I'm gonna say this and let you get out. I know you're trying to get up out of here, man. But I can't wait if they now. I still don't see the East either. It be the Knicks or Indiana. I don't see them beating either. Looks like it's gonna be now Minnesota
or OKC.
Or OKC. I still don't see it. I just like, especially if OKC does it. Like you said, that's going to be a battle of the coach, and I think it's going to be a hell of one of the best finals we've seen. Like,
can
as far
Denver
as balance
beat them?
stuff goes.
Can Denver beat them?
Can Denver beat OKC?
Can Denver beat them?
OKC?
Yes. Can Denver beat them?
It's if the adjustment gets made and Jamal Murray's on, you at least get Jamal Murray and you get your 15 or whatever from I can't think of the light skin boy name.
MPJ.
Yeah, exactly. MPJ, you can get that from them. If Joker play like he did and he get any help, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Joker's gonna have to be able to put that shit up for 2 more games in a game 7. And
you went 44-15 yesterday and they lost.
But that's what I'm saying. So
because he got nothing from MPJ. 7, that's not gonna get it done. That's not.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. And like you say, hey, man, I think this is even though we know the regular season MVP is all but called, I guess, or whatever. But man, I think this shit should be up into the finals because, man, like you said,
when we gonna find out? When is the league? What the hell are we doing?
I think it's at the end of the year. It's the NBA awards or something now, right? I don't know, but
no. They still doing it like they did now, where they hand it out and you get in front of the crowd and
okay, yeah.
But why we gotta wait till the end of the year?
I don't know if you remember, we actually had this conversation when he was talking about Joker, asking. I don't know if you remember this. Remember we were saying if Joker don't get it this year, it's pretty much it. It's over. And then like
he not.
Yeah, if he can't win it this year, there's no way. Nope. But again, and Shea is hard, bro. He nice, but the shit Joker is doing is just historical, bro. It's crazy. The first center to average a triple-double since what? Did Will Chamberlain ever average a triple-double? I think, did he? No? So the first center to average a triple-double ever, and they get better than your MVP season, and yeah, man, but yeah, it's crazy. But hey, chill, I appreciate you, brother. I know you're trying to get up out of here.
Good to talk to you. Yes, sir.
For sure.
What I don't get is I don't understand why are we taking so long to get to the league MVP? I know that I do remember in '95 they gave it to when they gave it to David Robinson. It was in the Western Conference Championship. I think Jordan won it. When Jordan won it, it was right before the East Finals. I mean, like y'all already know who the league MVP is. Why are we waiting so long? I don't get it. Why isn't the league MVP announced at the end of the regular season? What's the hold up? I don't get it. So y'all know what time it is with me, guys. It's about that time. I got to bounce. It's good to see you guys tonight. Y'all know where to find me at. If I'm not here, I'm on TikTok, 9 a.m. every day on Good Morning NBA. If I'm not there, I'm on a panel on the Players Choice Network on YouTube from 11 to 2. If I'm not there, you can find me right here on Chilltown Hoops weeknights Me and my man Tony Tone, we do it on Tuesday nights. If I'm not there, you can find me on Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock and at 12 o'clock on Saturday on Chill with Chill with me and my man Big Ox. So I'm not hard to find, guys. Just hit that subscribe button and then hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications. So I will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When last time you talked to your mother? Mother's Day was just Sunday. Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. This was dope.